Hello, Internet. And right when I hit go live right now, I started getting that I'm about to sneeze feeling, and it's right there. And I hope it doesn't happen right now. Hi, Scarlett. This is Scarlett. She is the star of the show. She likes to say hi every time the show starts. She doesn't do this like all day long. And as soon as I hit go live, she likes to jump up and say hi. All right, what do you want? You good? All right, can you go lay down now? Can you not knock over the Christmas tree again? She knocked over the Christmas tree today. She started tugging on it like a cat. Okay, go lay down. All right. We are going to talk about the criminal organization that is the California government tonight. We got plenty of stuff to come into. Lonald, what's up, man? I know it's been a while. I streamed last night. I'm going to try to stream every night for the next few days at least because there's so many things I need to catch up on. I'm going to try to do like one topic a night and only go for like an hour just because I want to keep it short. Plus, I said it last night, I'm trying to build my voice back. It's hard to talk for 2 hours now. So, yeah, we're going to talk about California tonight. Probably talk about, I want to do a whole thing on this woke right nonsense that James Lindsay is trying to drive down everybody's throats because it's completely insufferable, and I want to get into it a little bit. But that'll be tomorrow night. I want to talk about the P. Diddy stuff and grooming and blackmail and all that kind of crap. I want to talk about Syria and what's going on out there, Russia, Ukraine, so all sorts of things that I want to get into. But if you guys are here, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It'd be very appreciated. It helps the algorithm. And if you aren't already, if you're watching over on X or on Rumble, you guys go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe over there. It'd be a great help. My channel never grows on YouTube, and I would like it to, even though as soon as I get big over there, I guarantee my channel will get shut down just because that's how they roll. But yeah, we're going to talk about California stuff. Scarlett, stop that. Yeah, bunch of California stuff. Lots of little topics, but I'm going to be getting a lot into the election shenanigans that we have going on out here in California because it is such a shit show. I mean, if you guys were paying attention, it took a month, 5 weeks for them to tally up all the votes, cure all the votes that's what they call it, which is nothing more than a selected group of people deciding what ballots are going to be counted and what ballots are going to be thrown in the trash because that's what they have to do with mail-in ballots. So they say, well, it takes so long because we gotta verify all the signatures on the ballots and things like that. It's just mail-in ballots. It opens up it makes fraud so much easier to pull off with universal mail-in ballots. And that's what California did in 2020, just in time for Gavin Newsom's recall. And go figure, they stayed around and never left. So that's what we're stuck with now. So I'm going to be talking about that a lot tonight. But we'll start off with this crazy tornado that happened out here in Scotts Valley, like 4 miles from me. I'm sure you guys saw that. It was pretty interesting. We don't get tornadoes out here in California, much less in the Santa Cruz Mountains very often. But got some footage that I'll show for you guys. So let's jump into it, shall we? Again, if you guys are here, give that like button a tap, whatever platform you're watching on, and I would be much appreciated. Jump in the chat too. Say hi, ask a question, tell me I'm ugly, whatever you want to do. Makes me feel better about myself, even if you tell me that I'm ugly. So let's go over to Roz Alerts here on the good old X platform. And yeah, this is some footage of the tornado that happened a couple of days ago in Scotts Valley. Again, this is only 4 miles from my house. My buddy Foundring, the satirical pianist that does ragtime piano, he was right there when it happened. And yeah, he's joking, saying they're aiming a harp at him because they're trying to wipe them off the map. No, I don't think it was weather manipulation. It was just a freak tornado. And no, I don't think it's global warming either. We just get crazy weather out here. So this is a tornado.
Oh my God. Whoa. That was
crazy. That's a good shot from up in the hills. So insane.
Look at this. All people try to.
It's big enough to flip over some cars.
Oh my.
So I guess it was just a EF1, which is obviously very small, but I mean, it's powerful enough to flip over some cars, did a little bit of damage. Here's some more footage from it. Oh, this is right there. He's right up by the McDonald's. Oh, no, he's not. Well, he's kind of close.
Car just got bashed over here. The tornado just came through. Holy crap. Hit this car.
Bunch of redwood branches. Jump over to this one. I'll probably lose audio on this one. No, still got audio? All right, let's see. This is kind of a cool video because you see it form. Wally World. Somebody should have put their shopping cart back. I know. That's what they get. It probably wasn't their car, though. You guys out in the Midwest are like, yeah, this is nothing. Yeah, I know. But you guys don't get earthquakes. There it is. He's like, nope, I'm going back inside. Hell no. Yeah, screw that. I don't do tornadoes. I'm not. No, thank you. I'd rather deal with the earthquake any day of the week. This one's funny because it's like it's like the perfect California audio. You know this is in California because of because of the commentary. Oh, I like that guy. Oh, damn it, I didn't even play it for you guys. Here. Let me play that over again. Damn it, and I lost audio, of course. That's the only reason I want to show you this video, too, because the audio is funny. Let's see. Go back. Just want to show you this one last tornado video because the audio is funny. Sorry, folks. All right, listen to this guy's commentary. It's just funny.
Tornado in Scotts Valley, bro? What the fuck? Tornado in Scotts Valley, bro?
Tell me that guy isn't from Santa Cruz. All right, you guys get the picture. We had a tornado. It was weird. So that's about it. So just wanted to start off because that's sort of the big news that we got. We did have a massive earthquake up in like the Humboldt area off the Oregon coast, Northern California coast. It was like a 7-pointer, and there's a tsunami warning last week and shit, but no tsunami. It was and I mean, even the videos of the earthquake, it must have been way offshore or something because it did not look like a 7-pointer. We do build things out here to handle earthquakes, though, so you know, the footage wasn't too insane. So, all right, let me go to the screen. Let me see. Tornado in Scotts Valley, bro. That's so funny. Let me check over on Twitter just to make sure I'm streaming over there. Okay, it looks like I am. I hate the way they do live streams over on Twitter now. They don't autoplay. They just give you like a link that you have to click, and you can't post a thumbnail or anything like that. So it super cuts down on views. So it's kind of annoying. But let me just make sure I'm streaming over there. If you guys are watching over on X, go ahead and throw a comment in there for me. All right, looks like we're live over there. It's weird. Last night all the comments were Rumble. Tonight all the comments are from YouTube. All right, we'll keep going here. All right, folks. So this was some surprise news Californians got last week, and we're going to be paying a little more in taxes. Aren't you shocked? That's just how it goes out here. Already the highest state income tax in the country. And they're going to jack it up by jack it up, not jack it off. Northside, nice to see you. Also, gas is getting more expensive, amazing stuff. Yeah, I know. Carb. Gavin blames it all on the oil refineries when it's like, how do you expect the oil refineries not to charge more when we have to have all these extra special blends for California and then CARB, this unelected body of people that impose extra taxes on us? Just here's another tax. We already got it. If you just took away the gas taxes, just the taxes that California charges, our gas would be like $1.50 to $2 a gallon cheaper. I mean, some people are paying $2.50 a gallon in other states, which I would kill for. I drive a '79 Chrysler, you guys, with a V8. It's not fun. It's not fun on gas, and it's got a tiny little gas tank too, which is stupid. But anyway, this is from Ashley Zavala. She's probably my favorite Capitol correspondent, California Capitol correspondent. She always asks Gavin tough questions, and she's sort of a bulldog out there. I like her. Says her article, just the headline is "Why California Workers Will Soon Have a Little More Money Taken Out of Their Paychecks by the State." Let's just watch the video because my voice isn't great. Nope, I muted. Looks like I did.
The workers starting in the new year. And this is because of a small tax increase that was quietly approved by state officials to add money to the state's disability insurance fund.
KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala joins us live in the studio. So, Ashley, what exactly does this mean for people here in the state?
Yeah, Andrea, all California workers pay into the state's disability insurance fund. When the state withholds that money for it, it's on your paycheck as California SDI. State officials quietly decided to increase that by a small amount. The taxpayer advocates say on top of everything you already pay, it could also still add up. The state of California will withhold a little more money from your paycheck in 2025. The state is increasing the state disability insurance rate on worker wages from 1.1% to 1.2%. The small change means an individual or couple that makes $100,000 a year will have a total of about $100 more withheld by the state, or about $8 a month.
Okay, so it's 0.1%. It's not just 1.1%. All right. Still, any tax increase, I don't get why they can just unilaterally increase taxes. And at the same time, over the last 5 years, they can't account for $24 billion in spending just for homeless stuff.
But the state's Employment Development Department, which oversees the program and raised the tax, did not tell the public. Taxpayer advocacy organization CalTax did.
The SDI is a very important program. It needs a tax to fund it. No question there.
David Klein is the vice president of communications and research for CalTax.
When money is coming out of your paycheck, you need to know.
The EDD said it would post more information about this on its website after we started asking about the increase this week. In a statement, the agency's deputy director said, quote,
V Herbs over on X, all taxes and fees should be voted on by the people. I agree 100%. I thought there was a law that said that any increase in taxes had to be voted on by the people, and they just create new taxes.
The state disability insurance program is funded by workers. In 2025, the amount of benefits an eligible worker can receive will be going up to better support working families so Californians can take time off of work to recover from injury or illness or care for a loved one. Affordability is the top issue for California voters. The speaker has vowed to address the problem.
Californians are deeply anxious. They're anxious about our state's cost of living.
I mean, I think it's really important for people to understand that every California worker is going to see a tax increase starting in just a few weeks here. And this just comes within days of the majority party and their leaders saying, hey, look, we want to reduce costs. And so that doesn't seem to be the
This is our state government. This is the Assembly and the Senate. Actually, I don't know if this is the Assembly or the Senate, but look at all these freaking trans flags all over the place. Like, why is this necessary? California flag, American flag. Like, why? You might be like, why does it upset you so much? Because it doesn't belong in government. Like, what is this? You're trying to jam the trans agenda down everybody's throats. It's just, it's annoying is what it is.
trajectory that they're doing. It's already somewhat of a broken promise.
Now, while we're just now hearing about this now, the EDD says the information has been posted to its website since October. But again, they did not issue a public alert or press release about this information that some taxpayers might find important to know.
Yeah, I'd say probably all of them would think this is pretty important information. So who exactly decided to increase the tax and when was that decision made?
Yeah, who did it,
Nancy
Sarah?
Farias, the director of the Employment Development Department, made this change, which state law allows her to do so long as it's a pretty small amount and it's based on a very complicated formula.
Wait, who did it?
We don't. Farias, the director of the Employment Development
exactly decided to increase the tax and when was that decision made?
Yeah, Nancy Farias, the director of the
Nancy Farias, you twat.
Employment Development Department, made this change, which state law allows her to do so long as it's a pretty small amount and it's based on a very complicated formula. We don't know when she approved this. A spokesperson for the EDD did not answer this question when we asked.
And Ashley, you had pointed out earlier the timing of this. You know, the cost of everything is going up right now. So to have yet another increase, I think, is what really has riled some people up.
Exactly. That was the top issue in this election. And state leaders have acknowledged that. And that is why, you know, even if this increase were 2 cents a month, I think, voters deserve to know. And so that's why we're trying to bring this to light to you now, a couple of weeks before this all goes into effect.
Okay, great work as usual, Ashley. Thanks.
Yeah, super annoying. Just, there's no accountability whatsoever. Everything gets more expensive and everything gets worse. And every single policy that they implement is just geared to extract more money from the middle class and the poor. Perfect example of this is the turning the freeways into toll roads. I've talked about this several times, but in California, well, particularly in the Bay Area, you have Highway 101, Highway 880, like Highway 101 between like Santa Clara and South San Francisco, Highway 880 between, like Fremont and San Leandro, Highway 680 between, like the Sunol Grade and like Livermore. It used to be a carpool lane, meaning you just had to have 2 people, including the driver. So if you had 1 passenger, you could use that lane. Now, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a passenger. You have to have a fast track, and it's going to charge you a certain fee based on how heavy traffic is. So it even goes up and down. Highway 101 seems to be the worst of it. 880 is probably just as bad. But Highway 101, you can spend $20 each direction between like Santa Clara and San Francisco. So what does that do? Well, the poors, you got to deal with traffic. The people that can afford $20 each direction, so $40 a day, they're going to get to use that lane. So that's what all this stuff does, because this stuff doesn't affect people that can just toss money out the window, because that's what you're doing using the fast track lane. But everything. So they take our money that are our tax dollars that are supposed to be used to improve the roads, and what do? They turn those very roads into a money-making mechanism for the state, extracting money from the middle class. It's the worst. This is how California government works, and then there's no accountability whatsoever in terms of how they use these dollars, and there's no transparency. Like I said, the $24 billion has gone missing in the last 5 years for fentanyl needles and crack pipes. And then our roads suck too. So they put up all this infrastructure with cameras and readers for the fast track devices, and they don't fix the roads. The roads are still absolute trash. Government, California government, run by freaking criminals. Here's one of the worst of them right here, Scott Wiener. So here, and all the oil on the roads are a mess too. VHERBs. Increased disability tax. Are more people disabled? Probably. A lot of people, I don't blame it on the shot, but seems to be a lot of mysterious illnesses going around all of a sudden. 85% of Californians took that damn shot. So, yeah, I know several people that are just like, yeah, I got long COVID. I haven't met anybody who got long COVID without that didn't take the shot. But just saying. I don't know. Don't kick me off YouTube. Raja Mahan, is that his name? All right, let's go over to Mike Netter here on the Good Old X platform. So he wrote this up. I don't know. I hope this is his writing because he didn't use quotes or nothing like that. But talking about the worst state senator in government, the guy who seems like every bill that he authors is aimed at children. All of them. You guys know how creepy this guy is, obviously. But, he authored the bill about making it illegal for teachers to tell parents if their child is experiencing gender dysmorphia. Teachers can't do it. They're not allowed to by law. Gavin Newsom was just about it. And he was like, well, it's against the law. It's so what, you're going to lock people up? You're going to lock teachers up if they decide to tell parents like, hey, yeah, your son, little Bobby over here, he wants to be called Brittany in class. And he goes over into the bathroom and changes into a dress every day. Can't do that. Can't tell the parents. All right. This is from Mike Netter. He says Christian foster parents with traditional biblical beliefs on gender and sexuality are being systematically excluded from California's foster care system due to the enforcement of Senate Bill 407. This new law, authored by Senator Scott Wiener, Democrat out of San Francisco, mandates that foster parents, irrespective of whether they have an LGBTQ identified child in their care, must affirm a child's chosen gender identity or sexual orientation. Must affirm, meaning so if your kid wants to go on puberty blockers, you have to let them. This is the state completely crossing the line into the family. And this whole puberty blockers thing and gender change surgeries, where they give young girls mastectomies, where they are giving these surgeries to minors. Can't get a tattoo, but you can, they try to say it's not happening to minors. They've taken it off their websites, but Boston Children's Hospital, Oakland Children's Hospital, they're performing these procedures, mastectomies, on young girls as young as 15 years old. It's insane. This is going to be looked at as worse than lobotomies, as worse than electroshock therapy. It is the highest level of quackery for some sort of political agenda that has ever been done in the medical field. And there is a special place in hell waiting for these people. So foster parents must affirm the identity of the child in their care. Neutrality is no longer acceptable under the updated guidelines issued by Northern California Department of Social Services. According to their letter distributed to all county and all state licensed foster care agencies last month, Each resource family must have the capacity, ability, and willingness to safeguard a child's or non-minor dependent's personal rights and respect and honor the child's identities regardless of their own values and beliefs. The letter further asserts that any failure to affirm a child's self-determined identity constitutes a risk or threat to the child's health and safety. Consequently, this would result in the denial of foster care applications or the revocation of existing approvals. This policy shift underscores a troubling development. The state now regards traditional views of any faith regarding gender and sexuality as harmful, not only to foster children, but to all children under the system's care. Yeah, it's an attack on Christianity, for sure. I mean, so you can't even have the conversation. A kid, a 10-year-old boy says, yeah, I think I'm a girl. You just have to say, yep, you're a girl. You can't say, well, what makes you think that? Like, what listen, so you can't even have the conversation. You can't try to work this psychology out with the child. This shit is madness. It's freaking madness. And again, who's behind it? Scott Wiener, of course. This creep right here. You guys don't know who he is. California State Senator of the San Francisco District. I can't remember the number that district is, but yeah, this is Scott Wiener right here. This creep. Every bill that is authored aimed at children is authored by Scott Wiener. The guy's a freaking horrible, horrible man. All right, so I almost skipped this story because it's nothing. But like I said, we had a massive 7.0 earthquake out here a couple weeks ago. So this is from U.S. Civil Defense News, and I don't think this is anything. So massive radiation spike after 7.0 magnitude earthquake triggers tsunami warning in California. He says, was yesterday's earthquake actually an underwater nuclear blast? I don't think so, especially because this is detected down near San Diego, and this earthquake was way up in Northern California. But he says gamma radiation levels in San Diego is now triple of everywhere else. After yesterday's offshore earthquake, there's plenty of significant radiation spikes in San Diego, California, which is now showing 600 counts per minute CPM of gamma radiation on the 800 keV range. So, I mean, this could go back. He could be using the same website that I was using, where it's, it's like the Wikipedia of radiation, where anybody with a Geiger counter could upload the information. And yeah, again, this is down by San Diego. The earthquake was way up north, like 700 miles north of this. So I doubt that's the case. So you got a bunch of, Navy facilities down there in San Diego. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. All right, I didn't write this title. Let's see. V. Herb's House, he's still in office. He just got reelected. Yeah, San Francisco just reelected him. He beat Yvette Corcoran, who awesome, ran as a Republican. She got like 20-something% of the vote. Not only did he win, he won in a massive landslide. It's insane. San Francisco is off the rails, and California is ruled by the most far left of the far left, and that's why all these policies happen. Like, most Californians are pretty moderate and reasonable. Like in San Francisco, all the crazy maniac leftards freaking ruin our reputation. All right, this is I didn't write this headline, but the headline of this is I guess this is happening out in Beverly Hills. 2 black teachers suing Beverly Hills High School for racism. This is because they wore a MAGA hat and they were chanting like F Kamala or something like that. So let's watch this video. This is from Fox 11. Again, I didn't write the headline.
This cafeteria, in their mind, is somehow disgusting or dirty simply because there are black people eating there. That is the epitome of racism.
It was just mob of kids, just so many kids outside my door.
On Election Day, a group of students with MAGA hats and a Trump flag roamed down the hallway of Beverly Hills High School.
I'm going to tell you how scary What?
Teacher Bella Ivory says the group of students tried to enter her classroom where there were several black students.
Some of the students were shouting Kamala as they walked down the hallway. The profanity towards our vice president, who is part black, combined with students congregating in front of my classroom, increased my fears and also.
How's it racism yelling F Kamala when Kamala's not even black?
So the students' fears who were locked inside that room with me.
Bella's attorney has filed a formal complaint with the Beverly Hills Unified School District. He plans on filing a lawsuit next.
We allege discrimination, harassment, retaliation, racial comments, physical threats. That's what this lawsuit is all about.
Meanwhile, if you wear a MAGA hat, I mean, anywhere in any of these liberal areas, you'll get freaking stabbed. It's so annoying. All right, let's keep going here. I'm going to get into more of the election stuff now that I want to talk about. Actually, no, not quite yet. So this is from Emily Hoven, who is, she's from the SF Chronicle. So she writes, I don't need audio for this, that's fine. She writes, a new report finds that California's rate of young adults 15 to 44 mortality has increased 30% from 2019 to 2023, with fatal drug overdoses accounting for a whopping 60% of the increase, and car crashes and alcohol-induced deaths accounting for 10%. What's that other 30% increase all about? Why are young people dying? Young people that are forced to take something they didn't want to take. 30%. The death rate for young adults 15 to 44, mortality has increased by 30%. That's a huge excess death number. Huge number. From 2019 to 2023. In 4 years. What happened? So they're saying that a whopping 60% of that is overdoses in the state that hands out free fentanyl needles and free crack pipes. They use taxpayer dollars to give to these non-governmental organizations who are supposed to be there to fix the homelessness problem. Why would you do that when your whole organization's existence depends on the existence of a homeless problem? So what incentive do you have to actually fix that problem? Well, these organizations hand out free crack pipes, free fentanyl needles, and they even have what they call safe injection sites, which are these crazy, horrific flop houses that allow people to go and shoot up and do drugs. And at the same time, they do everything but hand out the drugs themselves. And they might as well do that because California, being a sanctuary state, has, in San Francisco at least half of the drug dealers, the fentanyl dealers, are illegal immigrants from Honduras, many of which are cartel members, flooding our streets with fentanyl. It's this whole vicious cycle. And when they get arrested, a lot of these crazy leftist judges just let them go. At a certain point, you have to ask, has the cartel bought off our government? And that's why that's another reason why I say our government is just run by criminals, because again, it's this huge vicious cycle. They do everything but hand out the drugs themselves, and they basically are by allowing people to openly deal drugs on the streets. And everybody knows who these dealers are. The cops know who they are. People that live in the cities know who they are. They are right there. They can just operate with impunity. It's insane. They're supposedly going to start cracking down on it more, but I mean, we'll see about that. I'm not so certain. All right, now I'm going to need audio. So let me stop sharing this because this is crazy what San Diego's doing. So in preparation for Trump, they're trying to, like you heard Gavin Newsom and Rob Bonta, they're going to Trump-proof California is the way that they put it. What do they mean by that? Because California is a sanctuary state, so Trump wants to go after sanctuary states for, aiding and abetting fugitives, essentially, and then giving them health care and, money for food and money for housing. It's insane what we do out here in California. So how is our legislature, our state senate, and Gavin Newsom, and then other county and city politicians Trump-proofing California? What are they doing? Well, the San Diego Board of Supervisors just voted 3-1 to turn the county into a super sanctuary county by shielding illegals from deportation and preventing police from notifying ICE about dangerous illegals in custody. So not only are they protecting illegal immigrants, they are specifically protecting the criminal illegal immigrants. Like, they're going out of their way to protect the illegal immigrants that have committed crimes here, some of which are violent crimes. It's insane, just like everything else here in California. So let's watch this videos from Libs of TikTok, but this is from a Board of Supervisors meeting. So let's watch this really quick.
I think this policy bill goes beyond.
Oh yeah, V1800. Yeah, they're handing out beer and vodka too. They have, people don't believe me, they have, yeah, they're allowed like one beer or one shot per hour. I talked about that a few months ago, but yeah, they do that too. They have, supposedly for people with alcohol addiction, you can come in and they'll give you a free beer, a free glass of wine, or a shot. And you can do it like once every hour. It's madness. This is really happening. Fact check me. Go ahead and look it up. Look up free alcohol for alcoholics or homeless people or something like that. Search it. You'll find it in San Francisco.
On California's existing sanctuary laws by adding an additional layer of bureaucracy that hinders local law enforcement from directly notifying ICE about illegal immigrants who are currently in our jails, and they have committed heinous crimes, including child abuse or endangerment, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, but only if this conviction is for a felony.
So this is who they're protecting. This is how they're Trump-proofing California, by protecting criminals. Do you see why I say that? I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that our government, that California is run by criminals. We are, and they're protecting criminals as well.
Possession of an unlawful deadly weapon, gang-related offenses, a crime resulting in death or involving personal affliction or great bodily injury, possession or use of a firearm in the commission of an offense, torture, rape, and kidnapping. That's the population we're talking about. So under this policy, and if a legal immigrant commits one of these serious crimes, San Diego County would be legally prohibited from directly coordinating with ICE. This effectively protects the offenders from deportation, allowing them to remain in our communities where they could cause that same harm again. And this isn't just theoretical. We have seen the devastating consequences of such policies across the nation. Barbie Larson was brutally murdered in her own home by an illegal alien gang member with a history of drug possession and burglary. He was released because of sanctuary laws. Kate Steinle was senselessly shot and killed on a San Francisco pier by an illegal immigrant with a long history of violent crime. Just months ago, I sat next to Patty Morin, a mother whose life was shattered when her daughter was raped, murdered by an illegal immigrant. Her heartbreaking testimony is something I'll never forget.
You hear a lot of people say, well, illegal immigrants commit vastly less crime than United States citizens do, which I don't even think that's true. But even if it was, well, every single crime committed by an illegal immigrant, particularly the rapes and the murders, never would have occurred if they weren't allowed here in the first place and given sanctuary. It's the stupidest argument you'll ever hear. Well, they commit less crime. No, they don't. And they're protected. It's how the state goes out of its way to protect. Illegal immigrants are treated better in California than California citizens are. They're given more of a welfare or a social safety net than Californians. I mean, unemployment, for example. People that have lived here all their lives, paid in unemployment, they lose their job or whatever, they go on unemployment, they get $450 a week. If you come into California illegally, have never worked here, have never paid any sort of taxes. You're given health care benefits, you're given housing, you're giving food vouchers, you're given debit cards for actual spending money. You're given more than somebody that's a Californian that falls on hard times. And, you know, like, you can have the whole argument of whether those systems should be in place at all. I tend to think they shouldn't be, but that's a whole other thing. I'm not for the welfare state, but if there is going to be a welfare state that exists, it should not be available to illegal immigrants, and it especially shouldn't be a more of a welfare state for illegal immigrants than it is for actual Californians. It's madness.
A reminder that these tragedies are not statistics. They are human lives forever altered. And these tragedies are preventable, but sanctuary laws allow them to happen by allowing illegal criminals back into our communities instead of into the hands of ICE.
And the worst thing, one of the worst things, is they keep calling them migrants. They're not migrants. Migrants we love. People that it's hard to become a United States citizen, and one of the only countries in the world, if not the only country in the world, that allows people to come here, pass tests, go through a process, and become a United States citizen. And because we do that, and we have a difficult, long, arduous process in place, what that does is that people earn it. People that want to come here, people that come here from other countries that become citizens, in many cases, love America more than people that were born and raised here, because they have to work so hard to get here and become United States citizens. You have to really want it. So what does just allowing anybody over the border do? It undercuts all of those people, and it reduces wages for everybody. Illegal immigration is harder on legal migrants than it is probably on regular Californians. This isn't, they try to make it this you're xenophobic, you're anti-migration. It's like, no, we have a process, and we're California. California grew up, like, Mexican culture is ingrained in California culture. We're a border state. There's tons of people from Mexico, but this isn't just people from Mexico. This is people going all over the world. And if you came here legally, if you got your citizenship, great. We love you. Welcome. If you came here illegally, especially if you're committing crimes, rapes, and murders, to the dungeon. I mean, a lot of people say they don't even want them in California prisons because then we're paying for it with tax dollars. But if we just send them, we just deport them, they're just going to find their way back here anyway. So, all right, let's get to this video so I can quit rambling.
San Diego County is already spending $5 million annually of taxpayer money to provide legal counsel for illegal immigrants facing deportation, no matter what the reason is that they're being deported.
That too. So California will provide lawyers for illegal immigrants to fight against immigration. The whole thing is insane. It's madness. They're going to provide illegal immigrants lawyers, people that came here illegally. They're going to give them lawyers to fight against deportation. California tax dollars going towards that. Again, we don't have a money printer, guys. We don't have the Federal Reserve that can just give us money. This is how Trump can go after the sanctuary states. A lot of this stuff is federal funded. Gavin Newsom just, hat in hand, goes to Joe Biden in the White House and says, oh, we need money for our insane programs, our insane high-speed rail project, our insane offshore wind projects, our insane homelessness shit that we do. Can you give us more money, please? That's how Trump can go after California.
This proposed legislation, to me, seeks to prioritize the interest of illegal criminal immigrants over the safety of law-abiding immigrants and citizens. I don't think we can continue down this path. Sanctuary policies are like these shield dangerous criminals, undermine law enforcement's ability to protect our communities, and actually put our lives at risk. We cannot let San Diego County become the next headline for an avoidable tragedy. These policies aren't just flawed, but they're reckless and they endanger every member of our community. Let's prioritize safety over politics, justice over ideology, and protection of innocent lives above all else.
Everything he's saying is super obvious. This should be super obvious to everybody. And it is. Like the whole migrants thing, saying, oh, you're against migrants. That whole thing is just gaslighting because you're conflating illegal immigrants with people that came here legally. And it's a slap in the face to the people that came here legally. The whole thing's insane. B1800 over on Rumble. Newsom can't survive without theft of tax dollars. He's going to pay those. He's got to pay those mortgages. Yeah, no shit. Just bought that $9 million home up in like the Napa area. Iron Ronin, no mystery illness in my household. Had some terrible food poisoning a couple weeks ago, but that was totally my fault for eating some very questionable taco truck. Hey, don't hate on the taco trucks. Taco trucks are my favorite. There's one over here in Boulder Creek that's freaking amazing. They take forever, like absolutely forever. Food delicious though. Iron Ronin over on YouTube. Other than getting sick from bad food, I haven't been sick since February of 2021. Yeah, I didn't get COVID. I think I finally got COVID like, I don't know, 5 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. But I didn't get COVID the whole time. Never took the stupid, and didn't get sick for like 4 years. Then I got super sick. That's how it's been my entire life. I never get sick. I get sick like once every few years. And when I do, I get super sick and I turn into the biggest whiny bitch ever. Yeah, I'm just complaining the whole freaking time. I'm such a puss when I get sick, but I don't get sick. I get sick like once every 3, 4, or 5 years, something like that. Let's keep going. Let's go over to Amy Reichert. So she says $2 million in FEMA funds were just awarded for holiday travel to illegal immigrants by California politicians. Amy is a journalist, I believe. I believe she's a journalist, but let's keep going here. So, see if I lose audio. Oh, no. I get a reshare anyway. 1800 news. Okay, I already read that. How's everybody doing? You guys having a good Tuesday evening? You guys looking forward to Christmas? I am. I love Christmas. I'm like Buddy the Elf. Let's see. All right. Let's go back to Amy here. Okay, so again, Amy Reichert claims that $2 million are being awarded, or no, I'm sorry, was it $20 million? Let's see, how much was it again? Yeah, $2 million in FEMA funds were just awarded. So again, those are federal funds for holiday travel to illegal immigrants by California politicians. So a lot of these insane California policies, wastes of money, these are federal funding. So tons of people don't realize how much the insane shit that happens in California isn't just a California problem. This is a nationwide problem. Sanctuary state stuff, people coming through California, there are wide open borders. You think they don't go all throughout the country? The insane voter laws that we have, no voter ID, universal mail-in ballots, all that stuff, that allows them to flip congressional seats towards the Democrats. It affects the entire country. The shit that happens here in California affects the entire country. All right, let's keep going here. $2 million federal funding, holiday travel for illegal immigrants. Insane.
Get this. $2 million in FEMA money was just awarded to illegal aliens in California for holiday travel. United States citizens have lost their home because of floods and hurricanes, and they get nothing for Christmas. But the far leftists here want to make sure that illegal aliens have walking around money just in time for the holidays.
That's right. It's $2 million in FEMA funding. After the Carolinas just had that massive flooding incident. Was it something rock that was just completely wiped off the map? And there's people sleeping in the dirt. They brought in tiny homes, and the FEMA said, no, you can't use those. The whole thing's insane. Let's keep going here. Man, I go way too slow. All right, this is from Bill Mulligan. He says, okay, so this is more San Diego shit. So San Diego County Sheriff Kelly Martinez announces she will not adhere to the super sanctuary policies approved by the San Diego County Board of Supervisors today, pointing out that she is an independent elected official. The board does not set policy for her office, and she has exclusive authority over the county jails. She adds that California state law is clear on when local law enforcement can cooperate with ICE, and that there is no loophole in the law as claimed by Nora Vargas, the Democrat chair of the San Diego County Supervisors, who introduced the policy. Essentially, the sheriff just called out the Democrats on the board for virtue signaling, saying that she made her position clear, and they knew they would not adhere to this policy before they voted 3-1 to approve it, with the lone no vote coming from Republican Jim Desmond. So San Diego County sheriffs, they're not playing. They're not doing it. So there's a battle going on in San Diego. So then on the flip side, what do you have? This is from KTLA. They say KTLA says new LAPD police chief says he will work to protect immigrants ahead of Trump's plans for mass deportation. So I don't. A woke police chief. So the new chief of the Los Angeles Police Force stated his department is working with consulate offices from Mexico and other Central American countries to draft a plan to protect immigrants ahead of the Trump administration's plans for mass deportations. In an interview with the Associated Press, Jim McDonnell said his tenure as police chief will be marked by high engagement with the community, adding that all of society must participate in the criminal justice system to create a safe place to live. A veteran police officer and former sheriff, McDonnell was selected by Mayor Karen Bass in October and sworn in last month, of course. The LAPD does not stop people or take action for any reason related to immigration status, and it doesn't enforce immigration laws, a practice that has been in place for 45 years, says McDonnell, referring to the Department of Policy, known as the Special Order 40, enacted in 1979, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Well, what if you arrest an illegal immigrant for dealing fentanyl, rape, murder, attempted murder, something like that? You arrest them and you realize that they're an illegal immigrant. Does that mean that you're not going to tell ICE, like, hey, this guy committed a crime, he's here illegally? So you're just what? You're going to let him out on bail? You're just going to let him back into the community? So again, protecting criminals. It's all things freaking bonkers. Keep going here. V-Herbs, yeah. FEMA failed North Carolina for sure. All right. So, and somebody that's just as bad as Gavin Newsom is our Attorney General, Rob Bonta. This guy, he looks like a gangster too. There it is. I always lose audio. He is the ultimate gaslighter. He's going out of his way to protect illegal immigrants too. So this is Attorney General Rob Bonta claiming he wants to Trump-proof public places. So this is like a catchphrase that they have going on now. Trump-proofing California, which just means protecting criminals. That's all it means. So let's go over to KTVU Fox 2. See what they have to say. And they're super woke. KTVU Fox 2. Oh, got it muted. Stand by.
And protect immigrant rights. Now, the Attorney General said today that he will protect California values and protect immigrant rights. California State Attorney General Rob Bonta is speaking out, saying the state is ready to take a stand against any effort by the incoming Trump administration at mass arrests and deportations. The Attorney General visiting a library in Bernal Heights with handbooks on how libraries, schools, and other public institutions can comply with California laws stopping cooperation with federal immigration officials.
In response to the incoming Trump administration's threats of mass deportations, I want to take a moment to affirm that California's immigrant community has my support.
The Attorney General said he's prepared for a fight in
there
the
it
courts,
is, right there.
Saying state
So just listen to what he said.
Law is clear that institutions like
immigrant community has my support.
The Attorney General said he's prepared for a fight in the courts, saying state law is clear.
That California's immigrant community has my support.
Of course, California's immigrant community should have our support. The people that came here legally. I'm sure all you guys have noticed, but they always do this. And all the Democrats do this. They just say immigrants, as if there's no separation between illegal immigrants and people that came here legally and became citizens. It's so frustrating because it's right in your face gaslighting. They know you're lying. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying, yet they continue to lie. Bonta only meant the illegals. Yeah, exactly.
The Attorney General said he's prepared for a fight in the courts, saying state law is clear that institutions like libraries cannot collect immigration status information for federal authorities.
What SB 54 is about is saying that's your role in your job and you can do it. The counties and the state, our people, our local resources, our money.
Sorry, folks. My slow internet again. I need to close some things. I'm still streaming. I'll refresh this. Well, you guys get the point. He wants to protect illegal immigrants. So it's like this thing froze up. So I'll just end this one. I'm behind anyway. I got to keep going here. So yeah, we'll go over to this one. This is Rob Bonta. He goes on the most annoying show, the wokest show on TV, the Rachel Maddow show, of course. And he just says she spews the same nonsense, you know, just all this talk about protecting migrants, protecting criminals is all they want to do. It's not just illegal immigrant criminals, it's people like this is why you had a recall for Chesa Boudin. This is why you had a recall for Pamela Price out in Alameda County. This is why the Oakland mayor got recalled, because California is lawless unless you are a middle-class citizen who did some mundane crime. They'll go after you. If you parked in the wrong spot, you'll get a massive ticket. Whatever. Littering, I don't know. Easy stuff, they'll go after you all day. But like violent crimes and drug dealing and all that kind of shit, no, you'll be let out. It's what they do. So let's go over to this. Rob Bonta actually posted this. Let's see if he looks good in this interview, because this is Rob Bonta with Rachel Maddow talking about how he's gearing up to Trump-proof California.
What should our viewers understand about how you're sort of strategizing for the days ahead? The end of next month, Trump will be taking power in Washington. He's talked a lot of big talk about what he wants to do on day one and what he wants to do right out of the gate. How are you thinking strategically about what California can do to protect Californians' rights and to defend some of the state's policy interests against what you're expecting from Trump?
My plan for my California Department of Justice is to hold Mr. Trump and his administration accountable if and when they violate the law. They did it repeatedly, consistently. During Trump 1.0, my office took him to court over 120 times. We won and prevailed a vast majority of the times because he was violating the Constitution, in particular the 10th Amendment and separation of powers at times.
They do not give a shit about the Constitution. That should be very clear to everybody with their unconstitutional gun laws that they keep passing here in California.
Violating the federal law, including the Administrative Procedures Act.
Now you're concerned about federal law? Isn't it against federal law for people to come across the border illegally, not through a port of entry, and then you protect them? You don't care about federal law either.
Misusing money that was budgeted for other purposes than the purpose he was seeking to use it for. We will hold him accountable when he violates the law. And based on what he has said he would do, his inner circle said he would do, what Project 2025 indicates he will do, we have a good sense of where he's headed on immigration, on reproductive freedom, on common sense gun safety, on environment. So we've been preparing and readying for weeks, months, in some cases years. We've written briefs that are ready to press print. Just need to dot the I's, cross the T's, and file it in court based on the actions he has signaled and telegraphed he will take. So we're ready. We are committed to making sure progress prevails in California, that our forward movement continues. And we're not looking for a fight, but if he picks a fight with us, gets in the way of our progress here in California, we'll be ready.
Uh-oh. Lonnie, you said F YouTube too. Censor Nazis. What did they do something? Did they do something to my show? Did they take it down? No, I'm curious. Uh-oh. Or are you just saying F YouTube? Because I'm right there with you if that's what you're saying. SAS, dude, SAS Boomstick. I'm going to read your thread in a minute here. So if you can hang out, I'm going to get to I might have to skip over some stuff, but I want to read your thread because that was good on the whole ballot discrepancies things. I got that pulled up, so I want to read that. Let's see. Rob couldn't hold a taco accountable. We wasted time writing nonsense briefs like in the Huntington Beach case that was thrown out today. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to get to that too. This is what V1800, this is what passes for bravery to lefties. Danger, they deleted your comment? What the hell? Oh, that's funny. Casey Martin, hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, you're a little late. That's fine. I got a lot more to cover though. Let's see. So I'll run through this. I thought I was going to be able to get through all this stuff in an hour, and I'm only like halfway through. So I'm not even going to read this article. I'll just read the headline. The Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, apparently they plan to take some aim at the California high-speed rail project because they get tons of federal funding. So that's coming down the pipe. Let's see. This is from Mike Netter. So this is from. I'll just read the headline because I'm trying to get through this stuff as fast as possible. California fast food restaurants shed thousands of jobs after Gavin Newsom's $20 minimum wage hike for fast food workers. Who could have saw that coming? So, yeah, I guess fast food places are hurrying up to automate things and operate on skeleton crews. So who could have saw that coming? Keep going because I don't want to spend too much time on that crap. Okay, so yeah, this is just SAS Boomstick. This is what you're just talking about here. This is from Mario Narwhals. He says, how one city attorney took down Newsom's no voter ID policy. Gavin Newsom's no voter ID law argued that requiring ID would disenfranchise low-income and minority voters because people with low income and minorities have more of a problem obtaining a driver's license than non-minorities. Apparently, that whole argument is racist on its face. Yeah, black people and Latino people have a harder time getting a driver's license, because they're black and Latino. Is that really what you're saying? Like, I've never met anybody that wasn't able to get a driver's license or an ID at least. Okay, so it would disenfranchise low-income and minority voters despite ID being required for almost everything else from driving to buying cough medicine. But Huntington Beach's city attorney Michael Gates wasn't having it. In a true David versus Goliath showdown, Gates took on Newsom in court, calling out the absurdity of not requiring voter ID. Gates argued that voter ID is common sense proof of identity that prevents fraud and keeps elections fair. The court sided with Gates, striking down Newsom's no ID rule. Now, thanks to Gates' win, Californians could soon need ID at the polls, setting a powerful example for states across the country. So again, this isn't California made it so you don't have to require ID. They said it's illegal for counties and cities to ask for ID. Huntington Beach wanted to say, no, you need to show us your ID to vote. Gavin Newsom sued them. Huntington Beach wanted to require its citizens to show proof of who they are to vote, and Gavin Newsom sued them. This is why I say our government is run by criminals. This is outright in your face, transparent election rigging. When you're saying no, why would they fight so hard to make showing ID when you vote illegal? Why would they fight so hard for that? Why would they jam universal mail-in ballots down everybody's throat? To cheat. It makes it easier to cheat. The whole thing's insane. And look, and Orange County flipped. Orange County is a red county. It's the only coastal, well, except for that, the very top county in California. I can't remember what county that is. Right above Mendocino County, I think, or Humboldt County. Very small county. It's red, and Huntington Beach, or Orange County, I'm sorry, is a red county as well. Well, apparently they flipped blue after a month of counting ballots, of curing ballots. Huntington Beach flipped blue, and by a razor thin margin too. So what happened right after that? Well, this is from the city of Huntington Beach. Today, the Superior Court formally dismissed the state's entire lawsuit attacking the city's new local voter ID law. While we anticipate this fight is not over, for now, the court has completely dismissed the state's case. This is a big loss for the state of California and a major success for the city of Huntington Beach. My city council colleagues and I will not back down amidst pressure from the state. We will continue to fight for the will of our residents. I want to thank our city attorney, Michael Gates, for his hard work and ongoing efforts in defending the city from state overreach. City Attorney Michael Gates said, "Today was another great day in court. The judge got it right yet again. We are grateful the city rightfully prevailed. This is another black eye for the state of California and a tremendous win for the city of Huntington Beach and election integrity." Let's keep going. So how does Rob Bonta react to that? Rob Bonta says, "Today we secured the court order we sought, clearing the way for us to get a ruling for the first time in the merits of the city of Huntington Beach's unlawful local voting measure. We are confident we will prevail." So he there it is right there. Huntington Beach wants to require ID to vote. He says the city of Huntington Beach's unlawful local voting measure. Notice, very careful with the language. He doesn't say anything about how we don't want Huntington Beach to force people to show ID for voting, which is a common sense thing that like 80% of Californians agree, yeah, we should probably have to show ID to vote. The vast majority of people believe that you should have to show ID to vote. The vast majority of the state. But the government, the super majority, but a minority in terms of opinion on the matter, jams it down everybody's throats. It's insane. Here's Rob. Oh, I got that up there twice. Okay, I got Rob Bonta's thing up there twice. So here it is. So Rob Bonta says, California law requires potential voters to establish identity and eligibility in order to vote by presenting an acceptable form of ID, a driver's license, California ID card, or social security card during the voter registration process under penalty of perjury. And only registered voters can vote. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. The California Department of Motor Vehicles automatically registers people to vote, and you have to check a box saying, I am not a citizen, in order to not receive a ballot in the mail. So you have to, on a government document, say, I am here illegally. Who would do that? Who in their right mind would, on a government document, say, yep, I'm here illegally, don't send me a ballot. Check that box. Illegal immigrants are definitely voting in California elections. Everyone knows it. And I wanted to read this whole article. It's way too long. I've read it before on this show. This is from the Gateway Pundit, but this isn't a Gateway Pundit writer. He's like a guest writer, Jim Hoft. He says, report, millions of non-citizen voters in California are enough to decide any election in the state. And I highly recommend you guys read this article because it's insane. Like here, look at this graph really quick. Let me minimize my screen here. So there's this massive spike. You see this? So let's start here. So the green line, naturalized citizens voting. The red line, outside the United States, inside the United States. Okay. So this isn't people voting. This is just how many people are here that are foreign-born residents inside and outside the United States. I wish I could read this whole article because it is kind of complicated, but there's just one part of it that I want to read to you guys. So he says, one question that arises is how did they get into the rolls? How did they register? Again, information in the voter rolls tells us a large number of these registrations came from the online registration system, while many of the remainder came through the Department of Motor Vehicle Licensing System. Both of those are supposed to check citizenship and reject non-citizen applications. In both, however, the applicant has to check a box indicating they are non-citizens. If they don't check the box, it is assumed they are citizens. Many non-citizens are reluctant to admit they are citizens reluctant to admit they aren't citizens because that could identify them for future removal of other action. So again, why would I say, no, I'm not a citizen on a government document that's going to be filed and anybody could pull it up later? They're protecting themselves from deportation. Both the online registration system and the DMV will pass these through the voter registration system as probable citizens. Checks with Social Security or other government sources of citizenship status often fail because these agencies lack essential information. Rob Bonta, oh, no. To register to vote, you got to show ID, so they don't need to show it at the ballot boxes. Bullshit, Rob Bonta. It's frustrating as hell. All right, so SAS Boomstick, you still here? Let's see. I'm gonna read your thread now. So go back to this screen because I don't need this super large. Casey Martin, clean California cities will make the state election fraud even more apparently outrageous. 1800 over on Rumble. You have to make it illegal to stop the people from fixing the fraud. I know, right? V Herbs Del Norte. What about Del Norte? What are they doing over there? SAS Boomstick. 2020 redistrict part of Orange County into LA County, e.g. 45th District. Oh, how interesting. All right. Well, okay. So here's your thread, SAS Boomstick. I want to read this because this is good work here. So again, this is from SAS Boomstick over on the X platform. If you guys are watching, give him a follow over there. Good, great account. So he says, now the California finally certified election results Friday. After 5 weeks, I dove into the 67-page PDF and found some interesting stats between November 2020 and last month's election. Some were really eye-popping. So here's a thread. First, he says, the number of eligible superset of registered voters grew 7.2%, which is really weird because the population actually went down from 2020 to 2024. So our population goes down, but our registered voters increases. Very curious. So he's got screenshots to, show all his findings. I'm not going to pull those up, but you guys go to the thread and look at the screenshots. But what he's writing is just reiterating what's in the screenshots. So registered voters goes up, our population goes down. Huh, weird. How does that work? So he continues, the total number of registered voters increased by 2.49%, though against the population loss, while both Dems and Republicans increased in registered voters, the Republicans outpaced the Dems by 3.13%. Outpaced the Dems by 3.13 times in percentage growth. Saving the biggest one for last, keep reading. A whopping 18 different technology systems were used, some with various versions across the state. We love complexity, don't we? Okay, so what are you getting at here? In-person turnout, aka precinct voters, was big in few counties, notably over 1 million in Los Angeles. I was quite surprised. Prop 32, raise minimum wage and make everything more expensive, was voted down by a majority. Raise minimum wage and make everything more expensive. However, good old San Francisco had a 71% yes majority, followed by Alameda County, Oakland, where you at, with 66% majority. The wokest of the woke cities in California, except Santa Cruz, downtown Santa Cruz. You guys, that might be the wokest small spot in California. It is insane how woke downtown Santa Cruz is. Big eligible vote turnout dropped over 20% from the November 2020 election. The largest percent turnout before 2020 was 1964 when Lyndon B. Johnson was reelected, 1 year after JFK was killed. You had to throw that in there. Californians overall didn't turn out for Kamala like they did for Biden in 2020. Of all the ballot props, the most decisive and lopsided outcome was a full rebuke of the pro-crime policies of the far left. Prop 36 passed by a supermajority, 68.4%. Everybody voted for that. So much like people are sick of the crime in California, everybody's in favor. If you put it on the ballot, hey, should we require ID to vote? It would turn out like Prop 36 did. Everybody would say, yeah, of course you should require ID to vote. Yes, Alpine, Humboldt, Santa Cruz, there it is, and Sonoma counties failed to reach 60%. All were majority yes. Okay, even Santa Cruz County. Interesting. I think Californians in this big, beautiful, diverse state are ready for something a little different. Yes, when Prop 36 was huge, and maybe questions turnout. For those looking for a fresh leader willing to examine anything and work for you to activate affordability. Great thread, man. So, yeah, the biggest thing is how could voter registration increase while our population is decreasing? Very curious indeed. So, I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog snoring. She's super loud. Okay. Clarifying SAS boomstick. It's a congressional, not a congressional district, not an assembly district. Okay. All right, my dog is snoring so loud. I apologize if you can hear her. I don't want to wake her up though. She's having great dreams. Okay, this is another article. It's reiterating the same point the SAS boomstick just did in the thread. It says breaking. This is from. Same guy, Joe Hoft. This is the same guy that wrote the article for the Gateway Pundit. I don't know what organization this is. It might just be like his Substack or something. Breaking exclusive, huge ballot discrepancies uncovered in Orange County, California, that could flip multiple U.S. House states. So the 2024 election results in Orange County, California make no sense. The first indication that something was up in Orange County was on Thursday, November 7th, 2 days after the 2024 election. Concerned citizens warned that Newsom had sent people to Orange County and that the GOP ballots needed to be cured. The races for the 45th, 47th, and 49th district are razor thin, and 364,055 ballots are still left to count. National Democrats have sent staff and volunteers from Washington, D.C. to Orange County Register of Voters. I'll be blunt, we're outnumbered. Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States, but Democrats want control of the House to block mandates Americans gave us on Tuesday night. We need your help now. We'll be at a Orange County Register of Voters, 1300 South Grand Avenue, blah, 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 until 7 p.m. If you can make it, please. Okay, so this is insane. This is insane. And this is all because of universal mail-in ballots. The curing of ballots is to verify signatures and shit like that, where if we required in-person voting, you got 1 day to do it, 1 day to count the votes, all of this potential fraud would go away. If we had in-person voting, 1 day to count the votes, it makes it much more difficult for the California criminal Democrats to rig the elections. There's only one reason why they want universal mail-in ballots and make it illegal to require ID, because they want to rig the elections. It should be very clear to everybody. This is so transparent. It's not even hard. Like, I'm a dumb guy. You guys see what I'm seeing, right? If it's a mail-in ballot that everybody gets, and again, you have to check a box saying I'm not a citizen, or you're going to get a ballot in the mail. Send the ballot in. You sign the envelope. You sign the ballot. They have to compare the signatures. Well, somebody's looking at the ballot. They clearly know if you voted for Trump or voted red or voted blue. Well, you know, this red ballot the signature don't seem to match. We're going to cure it into the trash can. that whole process, the subjective process of comparing signatures that has to be done by human eyes, that all goes away if we get rid of universal mail-in ballots. The universal mail-in ballots, the no voter ID, the DMV automatically registering people to vote, all these things work together to rig the California elections. Okay, I'll keep reading. On Friday evening after the elections, a bomb threat was reported, of course they were, at the election center where the ballot counting was taking place in Orange County. Initially, it was reported that the staff and members of the public were removed from the center at around 6:45, shortly before voting was scheduled to stop for the evening. Kind of like that pipe burst in Georgia in 2020. You guys remember that? I think it was Georgia. Later, we learned that the live stream of the facility was taken down. Oh, this is a bomb threat. The voting facility, evacuate the building, and then the live stream was taken down when the facility was being searched for a bomb. How interesting. Oh, my God. We don't know who made the call to shut down the live stream feed of Orange County's election counting facility on Friday night of the 8th. Per discussions of law enforcement officers with decades of service, the live stream provided an eye on the operations while the search and the facility was going on. Shutting down the live stream put the lives of many in peril while placing a question on the results from that time going forward. We don't know what happened when a live stream went down. We no longer can verify the ballots weren't tampered with via the live stream at that time. Incredible. 1 month later, five out of 6 U.S. House races counted in conservative Orange County were won by Democrats. I'll read that again. 1 month later, 5 out of 6 U.S. House races counted in conservative Orange County were won by Democrats. They flipped Orange County. They flipped Orange County to Democrats through fraudulent means. It should be very clear to everybody. 5 weeks to count the votes. They cure the votes until they get the results they want. This whole thing's incredible. We still have no information on who is behind the bomb threat. The mainstream media is silent about the bomb threats that occurred in 7 California counties after the 2024 election and in more than 50 counties across the nation. Interesting. I didn't know that either. Orange County's 2024 election results. The results of the elections in Orange County were completed weeks after the election day. In the presidential race in Orange County, 1,417,397 ballots were counted in the 2024 election. This is out of a reported 1,860 whatever registered voters. This resulted in an unbelievable voter turnout of 76%. 76% voter turnout. Incredible. Any results in an election with voter turnout over 75 are suspect. Okay. The total number of votes for president when adding up the votes for all the candidates in the 2024 race in Orange County was only 1,391,307 votes. This is 26,090 votes short of the number of ballots counted in the election. Where did these additional votes go? Although tremendously unpopular in California, somehow Kamala Harris received more votes for president than President Trump in conservative Orange County, California. How interesting. Chart. In the Senate race in Orange County, there were 2 Senate votes to make. One for the candidate to fill out the remainder of the term in Lake California, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and the other for the next year term starting in January. In both races, GOP candidate Steve Garvey received more votes than Adam Schiff. Also, in both cases, Garvey received more votes than President Trump did for president. This too makes no sense. Orange County also provides information on the number of individuals eligible to vote. Sorry. My dog dropped her bone. Orange County also provides information on the number of individuals eligible to vote active, having voted in the most recent elections. This report below shows 1,901,528 active voters in Orange County. This is 40,078 voters less than the number of registered voters reported by the county in the report above. Okay. Orange County also provides information on the number of ballots issued in the 2024 election. This report below shows 2,186,561 ballots issued in the county. This includes vote-by-mail ballots and military and overseas ballots. This is 325,111 ballots more than the number of registered voters reported by the county in the first report above. How? How is that possible? How can Orange County send out 325,000 more ballots than registered voters in the 2024 election? So there's the big glaring question everybody should be asking. They sent out 325,000 more ballots than there are registered voters in just Orange County. Just Orange County. And 5 out of the 6 congressional seats in red Orange County flipped to Democrat. Are you guys paying attention? This shit is insane. Also, a comparison between the number of ballots counted versus the number of ballots received has a material discrepancy. The number of ballots counted is noted in the first chart above, 1,417,397. However, according to Orange County's own report, the number of ballots returned to the county was 1,108,281 ballots. This means 309,116 ballots were counted more than the number of ballots returned in the county. 309,000 more ballots than the actual amount of ballots that were returned. How is this not front page news all over the place? This is so in your face, it's absurd, and nobody's even talking about it. The elections in Orange County, California are a mess. Over 309,000 ballots were counted in the county's results than were returned in the 2024 election. And more than 325,000 ballots were sent out than the county has registered voters. What the hell is going on in Orange County? So Donald Trump tweets, cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know better than most the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place in the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, and that this depravity of justice does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please be aware that legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in the unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels unfortunately never seen before in our country. Oh boy. Like this is like the key. This is the biggest takeaway of this whole article that I just read. The elections in Orange County, California are a mess. Over 309,000 ballots were counted in the county's results than were returned. 309,000 ballots were counted over the amount of ballots that were returned in. Where did these 390,000 ballots come from? 309,000 ballots. They sent out 325,000 ballots over the amount of registered voters. More than 325,000 ballots were sent out than the county has registered voters. It's rigged. California elections are rigged. That's it. California elections are rigged. I mean, just that right there. Where did they send out 325,000 more ballots than there are registered voters? And then what happens? Well, 309,000 ballots were counted over the amount of ballots that were actually turned in. Incredible. Orange County, 5 out of 6 congressional seats flipped to Democrats in that county. You see how this affects the entire country? Just Orange County. It's not just all, I mean, it's obviously California fraud, but That's 5 extra congressional seats because of California cheating. That affects the entire country. So there it is. That's it. It's so incredibly rigged in California that, I mean, I remember when I was a kid growing up, like my dad, I asked my dad, like, what, they don't have elections in Russia? Like, they don't elect their president like we do? And my dad just kind of laughed. And he was like, yeah, they have elections. They have elections, but it's super rigged. They get like 100% turnout for Putin or whatever, you know? And we used to make fun of Russian elections and other countries' elections, third world country elections, about how transparently obvious it is that those elections are rigged. California is that bad. We are a third world country. It is laughable how any California politician would call our elections secure in any way. They're insecure in like 5 different ways, and all of those ways work together. Again, you don't need 5 weeks to count ballots if you don't have universal mail-in ballots. They don't need 5 weeks to cure the ballots until they get the result they want, because everybody voted in person on one day and they counted all the ballots in one day. Well, there's 70 million people voting in California. How are they going to do that? You compartmentalize. You get a lot of people to vote. I mean, you get a lot of people to count votes. We did this before. This isn't a new thing. Other countries do it. The Philippines freaking did it. India freaking did it. This is a non-issue. California electoral college votes should be thrown in the trash. They shouldn't count towards anything. We could have our own fraudulent local elections here and stuff, but we shouldn't even be allowed to vote in federal elections. I don't know how to fix this. Like, what are we supposed to do as citizens where we demand that we don't want universal mail-in ballots anymore. We want to require ID to vote. The California Democrat supermajority is hell-bent on keeping those in place, along with the Department of Motor Vehicles continuing to automatically register people to vote, along with California sanctuary state policies. How are we supposed to fix our rigged elections by voting for less rigged elections? It's like it's crap. It's past like this point of no return where it's so rigged there's no fixing it. I don't know how. I don't know how to fix this unless some sort of federal voter ID law is passed. Which, do I like the idea of there being other federal laws? No, generally speaking, no, I don't. But when it's a federal law going against a state law that's just government against government, I look at that a little bit differently. So, yeah, I don't know how to fix this, but this is going to require some sort of like Supreme Court intervention. I don't know. I do not know how to fix this, you guys. But that is all I got for tonight. I already went like a half an hour longer than I planned to. Casey Martin, separate federal elections from state elections. Well, then you have to separate ballots. What do you give people 2 different ballots? And then it's super obvious. Like this ballot you're cheating on, this ballot you're not. If federal elections and local elections are all on the same ballot, even in midterm years, because you got senators and congressmen running for re-election at the federal level, and it's all on the same ballot. So how do you separate those? Federal voter ID, one-day voting with rare exceptions. 100%. That's the way it always was. That's the way it was when I was a kid. That's what happened with Newsom, with the Newsom recall. I was never going to work because Newsom was counting the votes. Yeah, exactly. They introduced the universal mail-in ballots right when the Newsom recall happened. It's so shady. The whole thing is so freaking shady. And no, I don't know how to fix it. So, yep, that is all I got for tonight. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat. Got to go walk my dog. Casey Martin, B1800, B Herbs, SAS Boomstick. Great thread. Thank you, man. Danger. Always good to see you, my friend. Northside. Let's see. Nature Boy, NBN. What up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Iron Ronin over on YouTube. Let's see who else we got. Wally World. No Terry Wallace tonight, I guess. All right. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'm going to talk about the woke right nonsense, James Lindsay and the woke right stuff. So if you guys want to hear my perspective on that, I'm probably going to write out a big long thing about it as well, because this shit it's super annoying and it's super disappointing at the same time. And yeah, well, we'll get into it tomorrow night. So that is all I got for the evening. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. Got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written. The truth about Chuck Norris. What do we have tonight? Let's see. Okay. All right. I haven't read this. It's a little. I'm just gonna read it. See what we got. So, Chuck Norris, joke of the evening. Here we go. If you ask Chuck Norris what time it is, he always says 2 seconds till. After you ask 2 seconds till what, he roundhouse kicks you in the face. And on that note, stay CaliBased.